So I studied mechanical engineering at Manchester University. So I did a straight 4-year master's. So after 3 years, I got my bachelor's, and I then carried on and got my master's after 4 years. I then did roughly 6.5 years in the nuclear industry, and then I did an extra degree. So I went back to university part-time and studied astronautics and space engineering, and I did that at Cranfield University. So I'm a propulsion architect. I work for Airbus Space. So how did I get into the space industry? I didn't go directly into the space industry. So I started off in the nuclear industry. So specifically the nuclear uranium enrichment. And then I worked there for 6.5 years, and about the 4-year mark, I decided that I wanted to change career path. So I did some research. I found universities that offered space engineering degrees. So then I signed up to one, got sponsorship, and I did astronautics and space engineering at Cranfield University. I did that part-time over 3 years. So I'm a propulsion architect, and I'm working on a project called Mars Sample Return. So in terms of the project, it's a very cool project to be part of. We're effectively trying to bring back samples of Mars to Earth for the very first time. So it's a very technically challenging and cool project to be part of. In terms of my role, so I'm designing the propulsion system for the spacecraft. So this is it's really how the spacecraft maneuvers in space. So how we get from A to B, and how we do attitude and orbit control. So what I enjoy most about the role, it's like being a boy every day, in terms of dealing with rockets, dealing with spacecraft that's going to Mars. It's just a very cool role to be in, and that drives your motivation. I'd say you're always on a learning curve. So there are specialists in everything, especially in the space industry. You've just got to kind of back yourself and learn as much as you can. Put your head down, be a hard worker, and gradually you start to pick up things of how things generally work. You learn on the job. I'd say that's probably the most challenging thing is learning to be self-confident and to back yourself sometimes. So when I was trying to transfer from nuclear to space industry, I tried to get involved in as many things as possible. So joined other societies, in particular the British Interplanetary Society, volunteered for them. So weekends away, took a week off work to volunteer at the UK National Space Conference, went to lectures, networked as much as I could. Doing a part-time degree in space engineering allowed me to narrow down or focus on what I wanted to do within the space industry. It's a very broad industry. You can be many things. So for instance, thermal, electrical, mechanical, propulsion, communications, radiation, attitude and orbit control. There's loads of things. So a degree helps you narrow down what exactly you want to do. A graduate program also does that if you get onto one. So I'd say try and get involved as many things as possible. Network. A degree helps. A graduate program also helps.